Are you happy with the number of new customers you are converting from your prospect base? If you have at least basic selling skills but your prospects are unresponsive, then maybe your prospects are less than ideal. This is Coach Leon sharing with you ideas on how to become a more persuasive sales professional. You're watching episode 6. Watch out for new episodes every Monday at 4 p.m. I used to sell for IBM back when it sold desktops. Now I was assigned to cover the education sector, schools, and universities. Now IBM was considered a solid desktop brand, but there were two major challenges selling to schools. Well, one, we didn't really give customers much leeway in terms of customizing the specs, meaning what we imported, that was it. Second was that we were premium priced. I mean, schools are pretty price sensitive, and we cost around 50% more than the unbranded desktops. Now, as I would find out soon enough, IBM Philippines at the time never had much success with selling to the academe. And so I was really challenged. Now, I wanted to get my feet wet early on in my new assignment, so I immediately scheduled a sales call in tandem with a more experienced colleague. We visited the IT department of one of the largest universities in the Manila area. And in the meeting, the client was very polite, but it was obvious that he had no interest whatsoever in getting anything from IBM. And with some digging, I found out that this process repeated itself annually. Whoever IBM assigned to cover the education sector would call on the big schools, the UAAP schools, and meet with them. None of them ever bought. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So I knew that if I wanted to keep my sanity and my job, I needed a new strategy. So I racked my brains thinking, how do I win at this? I mean, it seems that no one has actually sold anything substantial to the academe. And what I essentially came up with was the insight that we're probably selling to the wrong prospects. I redefined the ideal customer as a sort of opposite of who we had been actually trying to sell to historically. So first, instead of focusing on the really big schools, the established universities in Manila, where most IBMers graduated, I shifted to like smaller schools, family-owned schools outside of Manila. Now, my simple rationale was that since the big boys never bought anything, why not try the smaller players? I mean, there was nothing to lose. And since there are more of them collectively, even if they bought small chunks, then collectively the potential is still high. And instead of targeting IT departments, I reached out directly to the school owners. My rationale was that the more sophisticated the school in terms of IT, the more this client would want customization. And that's something we simply couldn't offer. Now, it was slow going at first, but eventually we got these little orders coming in. And long story short, this became the most successful education sector campaign for IBM Philippines. And I got a really nice hefty incentive. So again, if you're converting too few of your prospects, pause. Perhaps it's time to re-examine the ideal prospects because in many cases, it's not always the most obvious or visible ones that will skyrocket your sales.